We head south out of Satara on the H1 towards Skukuza. We were rewarded almost straight away with a herd of ellies on the road and then an incredible martial eagle kill. It was a sign of what was to come in the south of the park.
Welcome to Kruger Park.
So it's my first morning in Skukuza, and I seem to have brought the bad weather with me. It's meant to be 36 degrees today or something, hence the vest. But yeah, it's definitely not. It's pretty cold and wet and miserable, but you make the best of it. It's still great being out in the bush. Got a cup of coffee, enjoying the view. This is the Sabi River. This is a famous bridge. Skukuza lies along this river a little bit further up. One of the things that makes Kruger so special is these massive rivers that come straight across it. So water comes off the escarpment and hits the low-fell plains basically, and the water slows right down and it gets really wide. It's massive river beds, and these rivers for the most part only flow a couple of months of the year. You know, if you see the river beds, you'd think that this was a river the size of the Congo. But the South African rivers generally aren't navigable and they only flow after the wet season. Underneath the river there is water still running, so elephants are able to dig it up. So even in the dry season, underneath all the sand, there is water there. So as a result, it still supports this riverine vegetation. You get these massive, beautiful trees, and that's one of the things that makes Kruger really magic. So you have these patches of just typical low-felt bushveld, but then you have these beautiful rivers coming through it. And it changes the entire environment, and it supports a different ecosystem, and there's amazing animal diversity in these areas. It's a really special place, this. But yeah, I don't think today is going to be the best game viewing day. It's a little bit too cold and miserable. You can sometimes get cool shots in this weather because it's different. You know, different is normally good. Makes for dramatic imagery, but.
did manage to find a couple of stationary leopard that had been marked on later sightings, but otherwise it was a pretty quiet afternoon. The full moon will never be beautiful again. Once you spend some time under the threat of poaching, you realize the rising of the moon means that all the animals, but particularly the rhinos, are in danger. Poachers are able to move across the landscape more easily, they're able to track more easily, they're able to escape more easily. The full moon will never be beautiful again, so long as our wildlife are under siege.
So absolutely incredible. I can't even describe it. We had amazing lion sightings in Satara, and I didn't know if we were going to be able to top it. Satara was pretty incredible. And we came down to Skukuza, and this area, in particular the road that runs down to Lower Sabi, is so dense with game. It's quite unbelievable. It's like a paradise on earth. It really is quite amazing. We've seen the entire Big Five before within a kilometer on that road. So our hopes were high. But anyone that knows me knows that as much as I love the Big Five, there's one animal that supersedes all the others for me, and that's wild dogs. And we haven't seen them in a while. We used to be pretty lucky with seeing them, but we haven't seen them in a while. So I was really hoping for dogs. And we looked on the sightings board this morning, and there were dogs spotted in the area. So we headed out, and we found them almost first thing. We were barely 5 kilometers from camp. Incredible sighting. They were playing along next to the road. Eventually they ran off down to the river, and unfortunately there was no road in that direction, so we couldn't follow them. But still, it was absolutely magical. Just seeing wild dogs for me is a really special thing. They are my favorite animal. So then, yeah, we had a short morning drive. I did some work. I've got a big backlog of editing. And we were humming and hawing about whether we're going to do an afternoon drive. We're a little bit spoiled at the moment because we're in the bush for so long. Normally we do 2 drives a day every single day. But we did. We went on an afternoon drive. Same thing, within 7 kilometers. We saw 3 male lions, big boys, right next to the side of the road. Gave us some wonderful shots. They looked like they hadn't fed recently, but they weren't active. They were sleeping, and we got some cool rolling over shots and some grooming shots, and 2 of the lions lying next to each other, which was really cute.
Incredible. My favorite.
So elephants were your favorites?
Yeah, out of predators.
Out of predators, are your favorites? What's your favorite animal?
Elephant.
And we sat with them until it was getting pretty close to gate closing time, and we thought, let's just pop over the bridge. And there's that big bridge there over the Sabi River. And then we started going over the bridge, and next thing I saw a flash of white in the reeds on the far side, and there was another pack of dogs. And we think it was a different pack of dogs. There was about 20 dogs in it. They were definitely hunting. Got some amazing shots of them, but we were right on the limit of our time, so we had to rush back to camp, unfortunately. But yeah, absolutely incredible things, Skukuza. This area is renowned for amazing sightings, and it certainly hasn't let us down. Can only wait to see what we see for the rest of the trip. We're gonna have a nice braai now, a little bit of red wine to celebrate, and then yeah, have a good night's sleep.
We set off early again for what would be another memorable day in the park. If you're a little bit patient, vervet monkeys can often be some of the best photographic subjects. They're always playing, so you can get really cool shots if you just sit with them and let them grow accustomed to you.
So we had a pretty quiet morning. We went on the other side of the Lower Sabi to Skukuza Road, and I think it's a different felt type there. We really didn't see much. But now heading back from Lower Sabi up to Skukuza, we've seen the lion, and now we're looking at an African rock python, which is really cool. I don't think I've ever seen one in the park. Maybe when I was a kid. Oh, there's a Franklin busy moving in really close to it, so we might see some action actually, which would be quite incredible. It's on B's side of the car, so she's filming, because I begged her to put her camera down. The Franklin is right on top of the python now, so that was a close call. Some of the other people viewing this side were making stupid noises. But yeah, African rock python, that's a big snake. That's probably about 6 meters long, maybe not quite, 5 meters long. The Franklin seems to be interested in the python, weirdly enough. Sniffing closer to it, I'm not sure why. Quite amazing, yeah, Kruger. It's just, that's what happens when you have 2 million hectares of complete wilderness that's been relatively untouched by man for over 100 years. So pretty much ever. There were some tribes in this area, but not a huge amount. So this part of the world has never had permanent human population other than the tourists that it has now. And it has lots of tourists, but they have a very low impact philosophy with Kruger, so less than 2% of the park has got road access, which is quite amazing.
We may have had a slow morning, but right after that rock python, which is a bucket list sighting by itself, we had a wild dog sighting that 100% deserves its own Kruger special, probably in the top 3 sightings of my life. Here's a teaser, the special will be released soon. Another unbelievable day in the bush. So something completely new for the Kruger experience is there's now a spa in Skukuza. We figured we had to spoil ourselves a little bit and go for a massage. B, what's your profession?
Wildlife photographer.
How's your spa treatment, B?
Amazing. It was incredible. I'm still half asleep.
That was amazing, not just for a safari spa, that's like a real top quality spa. Definitely recommend it. Check it out, guys. People sometimes like to hate on Skukuza. Yes, it is busy compared to the rest of the park. Yes, there will be a bunch of cars at most big sightings. But it's a wildlife paradise teeming with game. So can you put up with some people to have sightings like this? We certainly can. Next week we'll be posting our first Kruger special, not one for sensitive viewers, and then next Saturday will be episode 7, Skukuza Part 2. Please remember to subscribe and turn on notifications. It's the easiest way to support us and keep us out in the field.